a city that's used to winners. Tonight, Columbus hopes to spoil a garden party. Jackets, Bruins, straight ahead live, only on Fox Sports Ohio.
Well, the Blue Jackets came away with a point in Washington. The final result, though, disappointing, to say the least. Tonight, the Blue Jackets face the defending Eastern Conference champion Bruins right here in Boston at TD Garden. Jackets looking to avenge an earlier season defeat at home to these Bruins, and they are ready to take on a Boston Hockey Club that has won 3 in a row. Good evening, everybody. I'm Jeff Immert along with Bill Davidge. Welcome to Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio. Well, there are several Blue Jackets underperforming at this time, but one who is not, in fact, he has exceeded expectations, Bill, is Brandon Dubinsky. Dubinsky now with 12 points in the last 9 games. He is not only leading in the dressing room verbally, but he is leading on the ice.
Offensively, he has been a horse. Defensively, he's playing any position that you want, showing his versatility. He has taken draws when needed, and right now, second in the team in that department. But he's one guy right now. You talked about the verbal. When you have the game, you do have the voice. And right now, he is doing it all for this hockey team. And a lot of guys are going to have to follow suit if this team's going to have any success.
Good news for the Blue Jackets tonight. They welcome back Nick Foligno. Foligno has missed 6 of the Blue Jackets' first 17 games due to the family issue, but he has rejoined the hockey club. He's expected to remain with the team here right now, and that is certainly a boost because he adds that physical presence, the grit, and he also adds tremendous speed.
Well, what he brings the game the right way. And again, what do we mean by the right way? You mentioned it, Jeff, the legs have got to be moving. He likes to play the physical game. You're going to find him in and around the dirty areas of the ice. Having 71 in that locker room helps everybody.
As for these Boston Bruins, they are ending a 5-game homestand. They have won the last 3. They have outscored the opposition 10-2 in those games. And certainly, as you look at this hockey club, they're led by a familiar face who, in a new place, but looks at home here in Boston in the name of Jarome Iginla.
Well, the one-time captain of the Flames, you know exactly what he brings, and he's another one of those guys. He can play physical, and right now playing very well with David Krejci in the middle and Milan Lucic on the other side. He's also a guy that is leading by example with the voice in his locker room, telling the guys not to get too excited. He's a leveler, and he does a nice job.
Well, how about the young defenseman, Torrey Krug? He is the first NHL defenseman to score 4 goals in his first 5 playoff games. Yet, he is still considered a rookie, and he leads this team in power play points with 6. 3 of them are gold.
Well, when you look at a guy as a free agent being signed out of Michigan State University, you mentioned his accolades offensively, but he's one of those guys too. His skating is so good. Lateral motion, being able to have the head pivot around the shoulders. He sees the ice so well, but you're going to see him up on the play. Number 47 can quarterback the power play.
Watching him on the ice here this morning for the morning skate, you'd think he would be, well, skipping high school to make it for the morning skate here for the Bruins, but he is a player to keep an eye on, and the Jackets must do that here tonight. We always have an eye on Dave Metzel, and he joins us downstairs. Dave.
Hey, thanks very much, Jeff Rimmer. You can't think about Boston Bruins defensemen without thinking about the great number 4, Bobby Orr. But there's another defenseman who leads this Boston Bruins team. He is their captain, Zdeno Chara. Look at the numbers on Chara. Almost 1,100 games played, and all the numbers that go with it, including he's the 3rd most active penalty minute man in the NHL. How about that? But he is so much more than that. He's a great offensive force for this team as well. Everybody knows about his booming slap shot. He's won the NHL hardest shot competition 5 times, most recently winning it in 2012. It clocked in at 108.8 miles an hour. He's 6'9". That makes him 1 foot and 1 inch taller than Cam Atkinson. But tonight, the Jackets are hoping that Cam stands tall in a city he knows so well. Jackets and Bruins next.
It's an extremely simple tool, but also extremely powerful. It can be used to start a poem or finish a symphony. It's been to classrooms, boardrooms, even to space. And we can't wait to see Introducing the thinner, lighter, more powerful iPad Air.
'Twas the dad who had to find 2 gifts mad quick. Phones for twin girls. Yeah, that would be sick. He needed a place with every carrier plan and phone for sale. 'Twas the mobile holy grail.
A plan with unlimited talk, text, and data?
Sprint offers one guaranteed for life.
Way to go, player. His girls were happy. 'Twas the world's greatest dad. If I wrote these lines myself, they wouldn't be this. Wouldn't be this.
Great gifts like the HTC One at your Ultimate Holiday Showroom. Best Buy.
Get all your highlights, interviews, and analysis right here after every game.
On Blue Jackets Live, presented by IGS Energy.
There's something about Skyline that makes people feel good. Let's go see what it is.
I live across the street from one Skyline, so there are certain days when I can just smell them cooking it. It comes through the breeze, and I have to have it at that point. I know it's Skyline time.
You just walk across the street and it's Skyline time.
Yeah, it's the spot.
It doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, that was part of what sold me on the location.
Feeling good. Must be Skyline time.
The building was crazy. It was out of control. You could feel the energy from your teammates and the guys on the ice and from the bench. And, you know, that's what you live for as a player, is to score a goal in a big moment like that. I've played in arguably one of the best sports arenas in the world, and Nationwide Arena, you know, it was better of an atmosphere, which was incredible.
Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by IGS Energy. Take control of your natural gas and electricity costs and enroll today at IGSenergy.com. By Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. Find a local agent on Nationwide.com. By your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Huntington. At Huntington, you can bank like a real fan. Get your Blue Jackets debit card at BlueJacketsBanking.com. On the road to the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight from the TD Garden in Boston. The Blue Jackets and the Bruins meet for the second time. Scheduled 3 regular season meetings. We'll be back here the day after Thanksgiving. But for tonight, Sergei Bobrovsky gets the start as you check out his record. 5-1 coming into this one. And making his 3rd appearance for the Boston Bruins, Chad Johnson. Tuukka Rask has played 15-17. He is not playing tonight. Our referees, Denny LaRue and Johnny Bear. Johnny Murray, Von Rode are the linesmen. We are underway with tonight's telecast presented high definition by Time Warner Cable. Jackets, Dubinsky gets back on his feet, sends it towards the net, knocked down by Seidenberg. Cam Atkinson drops it back, and it's played neatly by Ryan Murray. Murray averaging better than 20 and a half minutes over his last 8 games for the Blue Jackets. And I suspect, Bill, we will see a lot more of Ryan Murray again here tonight.
Now there's a look at Cam Atkinson. Had a chance to come back to the old hometown where he played college hockey at Boston College. And yesterday, he had a chance to listen in the open, and had to drag him into BU's arena yesterday, but got into practice, got out of there quickly, and went back over to BC and watched his old team practice.
Anisimov will set up against Patrice Bergeron, who wins the draw. Dougie Hamilton deals it on that right wing, sent ahead, and Bergeron sends it towards the Jackets net. Played by Bobrovsky. Jack Johnson off the wall. He'll get it back again here, right from Bergeron. Chips ahead. Knocked down a 3rd time by Bergeron, and it's Gabrick down the right wing. Marian Gabrick sends it off the wall. R.J. Umberger looking through Gabrick. Laid off the board and kept in by Jack Johnson. R.J. Umberger on that right wing. Quick shot from a sharp angle, which sails wide of the net off the stick of Gabrick. Tootin throws it off the glass. The Bruins look to the right wing. Marchand for Hamilton, who has joined the rush. Hamilton moves in, offside to go. How about tonight's Toyota Keys, presented by your Central Ohio Toyota dealer?
Well, maintain some defensive structure. And again, this has been preached the last 3 games, from the forecheck to the neutral zone play, and then layering in your own zone. Win Bruin battles. One-on-one, every area of the ice. You have to win the one-on-ones, and then you're going to get some production from the core. They have to have it. Gabrick, Umberger, and Isimov, they all have to step up. And even offensively, having Jack Johnson add to the offense could help.
Here's Savard. Hands it to Nikitin. Out of the zone, McKenzie will backhand it in. Bruins play it. It's chipped off the Bruins defenseman, and Boston quickly move up ice. Kelly deals it on the wing. Krug has joined the rush, and it's sent wide of the net. Boston in around the wall. Backhanded by Como, and sent the length of the ice.
Well, there's a look at Claude Julien, and talking with him this morning, asked him what he thought about this Columbus Blue Jacket team. He said, first of all, throw out the record. This team, I've had a chance to watch play the last couple of games. They compete, they work hard, they work you low. You have to play physical against them, but you also have to play discipline.
Gregory Campbell will take the face-off. It's to the right of Bobrovsky, won cleanly by Letestu. Nikitin centers the pass. Como fights off the check and away from Campbell, dumps it deep. Krug. Camp behind Johnson. Deals it on that right wing. Thornton carries up out of the zone, knocked away by Foligno. Nick Foligno starts on the 4th line here tonight. And as Todd Richards told us prior to the game, depending on how things go, he could move up in the lineup. There's Chaput chipping ahead. Bull in pursuit. Jared Bull scoring his first goal of the season the other night in Washington. Backhanded by Thornton. Tossed back by Pyer. Seidenberg will play it on for Krug. There's Krug, right wing feed. Cut off there by Foligno. Brought in offside. Let's check out tonight's Elk and Elk injury report.
Well, you look at the Jacket side. Jenner, Calvert, Horton, of course, out of the lineup. We also, on the other side, Adam McQuaid, one-time Columbus Blue Jacket draft, a lower body, and he is back skating apparently, or back on the bike as of this morning. We're going to be ready to take a long trip, and whether McQuaid goes or not, that was the topic of discussion amongst the reporters this morning.
Well, both these teams play back-to-back games tomorrow night. Boston will be in Ottawa, while the Blue Jackets hustle home after this one tonight. And it's Johansson taking that long stretch pass, and they will play the Canadiens. Montreal and Columbus match up the second time in the young NHL season tomorrow night at Nationwide. Behind the net, Dubinsky off his stick. There's a penalty upcoming. McGinley has lost his stick, and we will get the first power play of the evening. Penalty coming at 2:59. And it's Dubinsky who will get the gate.
Well, we could take a look right now. Dubinsky, you see him with the foot trying to go around, and then in comes McGinley. A slash over top of the stick. And Denny LaRue right there to make the call. Dubinsky, they had a small discussion. Dubinsky made his way to the penalties.
So, the Bruins, who are 14th in power play efficiency at 18.8%. There's Hamilton on the right side. Hamilton sends ahead. Louis Eriksson. Columbus Dallas Star. Scored his first goal as a Bruin in Columbus back in early October. Behind the net, played here by the Bruins, set up high, and again it's Hamilton. Hamilton on there for Eriksson, sent back to the point, flipped ahead. Bergeron looks to the far side. Smith deals behind the net, a centering pass off the side of the net. Chip to the near boards, and on the wall, it's Louis Eriksson again. Jackets defend. Comes back to Hamilton through a crowd in front. Smith able to redirect it, but right defender Tutin, who hammers it off the boards, but not out. Saved by Hamilton. Watch that line. All kinds of traffic in front, and the puck sails wide off that backboard. Played there by Smith. Bergeron looks for a little open ice and gets the puck from Smith. Bergeron. Smith in front, off the stick of Bobrovsky in the paint. The Jackets netminder will hold on as the Bruins jam the front of the Columbus net.
Well, the last week, the one thing that the Columbus Blue Jackets have done, they've spent a lot of time on that penalty kill. Who are they aware of? That man right there on the slide. They basically want to take away that pass so that one-timer cannot get to the goaltender. Nice job there with some good sticks. Good job there by Bobrovsky to handle the rebound.
Bruins send out a new unit. 59 seconds left in the Dubinsky penalty. Jarome Iginla. Kemp on the right. Lucic and Chara up front. Krug looking for that backdoor play. Pinches in. He's at the top of the circle. One-timer. Pad save. And a dandy there by Bobrovsky. Anticipating Krug, who had pinched in and let it fly with a one-timer.
Krug talked about moving over from that left side to the right side as a left-handed shot, getting a chance to use that one-timer.
He leads in power play points, 3 goals, 3 assists. Lucic on the win. Lucic circles the net. Milan Lucic sends it towards the Jackets netminder, and it's Wisniewski chipping it high off the wall and back into Boston territory. Jackets picked up their 3rd shorthanded goal the other night in Washington. It was a big one, but the Jackets gave up one of their own a little later in the contest, and that was not good. Kruger with a shot. It's blocked. Jackets the outlet pass. Played there by Johansson, seeing some penalty-killing time. He moves it effectively back into Boston territory. Dubinsky steps out. The Jackets have killed off the first power play.
It's a good jump right now. You get the bench going. Now your next shift out, gain the momentum.
2 shots for Boston. Here comes Gabrick. Sprints in on that right side. Gloved and held, flashing the leather. Chad Johnson tested for the first time here tonight.
And that's what number 10 has to do. When you come up with that puck in the neutral zone, and that's where that layering in the neutral zone has been so good the last couple of games. And then Gabrick gets on the high horse. Look again, good active stick by Chaput. And then quick feet, and then the quick snapper. Good goaltending save right there by Johnson.
Jackets have got to get Barry and Gabrick going. Lengthy meetings, the coaching staff here. Gabrick certainly counted on for more offense. The Jackets hope that starts here tonight in Boston. Just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time. Later in tonight's contest is brought to you by Miller Lite. Penalty upcoming. It's against the Boston Bruins, and the Jackets will get their first power play.
It's going to be Matt Barkowski, the product out of The Ohio State University. Makes his way to the penalty box. Interference call. Jackets' first power play of the night. Boy, you want to be able to jumpstart your hockey team with the special teams. You had a good kill. Now, get on the power play and make it happen.
Jackets have Wisniewski and Murray on the points. Dubinsky, Johansson, and R.J. Umberger up front. Ryan Murray drops it back for Dubinsky through the neutral zone, carried in by Johansson. Stick handles almost right to the Boston net before it's a bit of a forearm shiver there from Chara.
5 minutes, 15 seconds.
He's got a little bit of a face along with it. Here's Murray. Carries out of the zone. Sends it to the offensive blue line. Umberger plays it off the wall. In front, Dubinsky, and a glove stop there by Johnson on the backhand by Dubinsky.
The Jackets, again, their entries are with speed, and they are quick. The nice thing right now, look at the Umberger. He has the head up. He knows ahead of time where he wants to go with it. But Johnson, look at his shoulders, how he squares up. Good anticipation. Takes away the lower portion of the net, but a nice job by the Jackets on the right.
35 seconds down to the power play. Fresh legs come on, and Isima, Atkinson, and Gabrick, Jack Johnson, and Mark Letestu on the points. The draw won by Boston. Played up and out. Bobrovsky settles the puck down. It's left there for Jack Johnson. 6 minutes into this opening period. Johnson flips the backhand. Gabrick will carry in. Gabrick trying to squeeze through along the wall. Eddie Hamilton defended. Battle ensues in the corner. Gabrick, Atkinson. Looking for Gabrick, picked up here by Gregory Campbell. Campbell for Paille. He finds an opening and sends it back into Columbus territory.
Two of the top premier penalty killers in the league. When you have Paille and you've got a guy like Campbell, they will come at you. They'll block shots. They do whatever.
Long stretch pass here for Anisimov. Moves in, pulls up, looks to the front of the net, redirected. Right in on Johnson. He's able to stick it aside. Jack Johnson, cross ice. Gabrick. Gabrick from that right corner. Chara defends. Fellow countrymen, they had dinner last night. Not friends tonight, though. On the opposite sides of the ice. And, of course, the two will play for Slovakia in the upcoming Olympic Games. They'll be teammates for that occasion at least. Here's Jack Johnson. In the zone, less than 13 minutes left. Final seconds of the Jackets power play that has 2 shots thus far. Dubinsky. Not played. Como to the point, but it went through between the two defenders, and Boston has pulled out their first penalty killing assignment of the night. Lucic barrels in on that left wing, Johansson. Como turned around on the play. Jackets clear it by Seidenberg. And he'll race back into Boston territory. He is playing his 599th game in the National Hockey League tonight. Tomorrow in Ottawa will represent his 600th NHL game. It's chipped back to the point. Seidenberg on here to Krug. Off the heel of the stick and steered behind the Jackets' net. Picked up here by Nick Foligno. Looking cross ice. Wisniewski will play it off the wall. Steps out of the zone and sends one into Boston territory. And play has been whistled down with an icing call.
The Columbus Blue Jackets hockey is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, the official insurance provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets. Nationwide is on your side.
7:54 left. My apologies, 7:54 gone. We have 12:06 left here in this opening period with a face-off to the right of Bobrovsky. It will be McKenzie lining up against Lucic as Krejci was chased from the circle. And Lucic wins the draw. There's Krug. Knocked down by Chaput. Wisniewski chips it off the wall. Chaput can't clear. Iginla from his knees sends it wide of the net. Iginla off to a fine start here in Boston. He, of course, had the opportunity to be traded last year from Calgary to Boston. In fact, the Bruins all but held a press conference to announce that he was coming. But, of course, Iginla had the choice. Ended up going to Pittsburgh. But signed as a free agent with these Bruins, and he has certainly enjoyed his time here in Boston.
With the departure of Horton to the Columbus Blue Jackets, he fit in on that right side as well as anybody. And right now, I'm talking with guys this morning, he's a great presence in this locker room.
Former captain of the Calgary Flames. Boston. Going around the wall here for Smith on the right wing. Back end with full flight. Bruins walk in. Centering pass. And just missing that one was Kelly. Seidenberg. Far side of the ice. Bruins chip it to the corner. It's off the glass. Jackets defend deep in their own zone. David Savard back in the lineup. Jackets scratch on the blue line. Dalton Prout pulls, sends it up, but not out. Bartkowski able to chip it back into the corner. Savard will try again. Thornton brings it back in. Offside the call. 10:38. Play a little choppy here in this opening period. Jackets with a shot advantage at 4-2, but we are scoreless in period one.
When you compare a comparable Toyota Camry to a Honda Accord, Advantage Toyota. Camry has 10 airbags and gets better mileage than Accord. Advantage Toyota. Camry has a 2-year no-cost maintenance plan and is priced $1,400 less. Advantage Toyota. Now, during the final days, get a new Camry with 0% financing plus $500 bonus cash. Or lease one now for just $199 a month. Advantage Toyota. Toyota. Let's go places.
We've got a safe driver headed toward the freeway. He is doing 44 in a 45. Now
in the nation, Safe just got a little more exciting. Add Vanishing Deductible from Nationwide Insurance and get $100 off for every year of safe driving. Just another way we put members first. Because we don't have shareholders.
Bill, that's the perfect merge. That was flawless.
Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Insurance is proud to be the official insurance provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets. Contact a local agent or visit nationwide.com.
They're protected. So why shouldn't you be? NHL Ticket Exchange by Ticketmaster, the only resale site with NHL tickets verified by Ticketmaster. NHL Ticket Exchange by Ticketmaster. Know you're good before you get to the game. Real fans, real tickets, real easy.
Now there's a look at Torrey Krug, and we talked about him before. He looks like he's about 13, 14 years old, but he played his college hockey at Michigan State, signed as a free agent, had a lot of different places to go. He wanted to come to Boston. He felt, again, this was going to be the place where you get a chance to win a Stanley Cup, and he has made strides. He's moved from the left side over to the right side, and as a left-handed shot, a lot of guys don't find comfort in it. He finds it as a natural position for him because he can hug the line, move the puck to the center of the ice, and he's got a good quick shot off of that pass.
Hamilton, former first rounder, on to the captain, Chara. Bruins march off ice, and Anisimov. There to send it ahead. Marchand batted briefly. Play in the neutral zone. Bergeron will toss it back here for Chara. Chara chips it into the open corner. Tootin back to play for the Blue Jackets. Away from Eriksson. Bergeron steps into the Jackets defender. The puck sails off the net. Play called, and now R.J. Umberger taking a little exception there from Marchand. Interesting story in the paper here in Boston about Marchand not being able to play his game because the referees are keeping an eye on him. And there he gets a little physical with R.J. Umberger, who takes exception. No damage done.
Well, the damage, he's just basically laying a foundation. And that's what this guy does. You can't have too many of these guys on your team. He's an agitator. He can play the game any way you want, and this is the way it starts. Every game, first period, he picks somebody out right now. He and R.J. Umberger will have things going on for the rest of this game. Why? Because of 63.
But one thing that he has stated here, Bill, is that at this point, the referees are watching him, and he can't necessarily play that game, that agitating game that we've accustomed to watching him play. Johansson from the draw onto Atkinson. Jackets control the puck. A left wing feed for Dubinsky. Dubinsky dumps in. It's off Krug. Johansson had it briefly. Iginla cruising through and across the line. Johnson steps away from the former Flames captain. Johansson pressured by Krug. Kept in up high by Lucic. On to Krug. Krug back for Lucic. Krejci cruising in that slot. Now races after it on the far side. Dubinsky catching Krejci. And Krejci going awkwardly into the boards. And on that hit, lost his helmet. And right now in a heap of trouble. Play has been called. And that was a good, clean hockey hit. The Bruins take exception. Lucic on Dubinsky. But again, Krejci lost his footing. And all Dubinsky was doing was finishing his check. We'll step aside as Krejci gets some help. We'll be back.
Look at them with that U-verse wireless receiver.
Back in our day, we couldn't just move the TV wherever we wanted.
Yeah, our birthday entertainment was a math magician.
Because if there's anything that improves magic, it's math.
The only thing he taught us was how to subtract kids from a party.
Let's get some cake in you.
I could go for some cake.
Switch and add a wireless receiver. Get U-verse TV for $19 a month for 2 years with qualifying bundles. Rethink possible.
Catch the Blue Jackets Shootout Showcase on weekend games throughout the season. Presented by Scott's Miracle-Gro. See the best youth hockey teams from Pee-wees to Squirts around Central and Southwest Ohio battle it out in a shootout tournament to determine which teams will play in the live final matchup at Nationwide Arena in April. Scott's Miracle-Gro shows its commitment to growing youth hockey in Ohio as the official partner of the Shootout Showcase.
This is the lowest day in my athletic career.
It's 1973. Everything you thought was stable is gone.
Well, I'm not a crook.
Watergate, Vietnam, Bo versus Woody.
He is not going to get the first down.
What happens when sports' greatest rivalry isn't decided on the field? Nobody won enough time.
We kept the vote secret.
We got screwed.
I am bitterly resentful at the way this thing was handled.
Now there's a look at Milan Lucic in the penalty box. Again, he got a roughing call after the fact. Here's what happened. As you see, Dubinsky, Krejci going into the boards. Looked like Krejci stepped on Dubinsky's stick, and as he's going down, Dubinsky, of course, has to finish his check. Nothing he can do. Look at the stick, into the skates. He goes down. I'll tell you, that helmet come off on Krejci. He was escorted off and down the runway to the locker room.
Lucic penalized for going after Dubinsky. And the scrum in the Boston zone. The Jackets are 0 for 1 on the power play with 2 shots. Back with the extra man, a roughing minor assessed to Lucic.
Lucic minor penalty roughing at 10:35.
We've passed the midway point of this opening period. Down that right wing, Atkinson sends it by Sharp. Ryan Murray in deep. Gabrick slides it to the corner. Anisimov up high. There's Murray. Wisniewski, the one-timer, deflected a couple of times in front, with Johnson holding his own, able to stick it aside. Bergeron to the point, but not out. Wisniewski dropped there by Marchand, much to the delight of the crowd here in Boston. Anisimov up high, able to glove it, knock it down, takes a hit along the wall, a clearing pass, knocked down. Jackets Atkinson sends it off Bergeron's skate. There's Murray with it. Murray walks the line, traffic in front. Anisimov sets the screen. Atkinson. Anisimov tried to get a stick on it as it sailed wide of the net. Rimmed around the wall by Wisniewski. Up high, it's Murray. Jackets power play, less than a minute left. Ryan Murray. Backpedal, looks Wisniewski. Onto Anisimov. Right side, Gabrick. Gabrick trying to thread the needle with a feed for Anisimov that's broken up by Boston and sent the leg to the ice. Fresh legs on for both teams.
I'll tell you what, 42 is right in the middle of the ice. That's where he's got to utilize that shot, and he does. He's got a heavy shot, and it is accurate.
There's Jack Johnson drilling it high and wide of the net. Paille to scoop it up off the glass. Seidenberg sends it cross ice, and again, the Bruins are able to clear. 20 seconds left in the power play. Johnson out-muscling Paille. Here's Tootin late in the power play. Right wing feed. Dubinsky looking for the handle and gets it. Final 10 seconds. Up high, Tootin juggled it. Jackets forced out of the zone. And it's Jack Johnson looking for Johansson. Moved effectively down the ice by Bartkowski, and that'll do it. As Lucic steps out. Jackets on that power play, 1 shot. 3 of their 5 shots directed at the net, and they directed through, and a goal. Blake Como coming off the bench, and a centering feed left all alone in front, and he beats Chad Johnson. It's not a power play goal, but it gets the Blue Jackets the needed first goal of the game.
Well, that next line up is so important for any hockey team, and here are the Jackets. A little chip, little chase. Look at the work by Letestu to get on top of the puck, and then that back pass. Como finds his own space in front of the net, all by himself in a nice quiet area, and you see the defensive pair, Gonchara as well as Hamilton going after the puck, and the Jackets make it a 1-0 lead.
Blake Como finds the back of the net, left all alone in front, and on that centering pass, connects for his 2nd goal of the season. He had struggled here in recent games, but the last couple, including the game in Washington, a strong outing for Blake Como. Jackets send it off the wall. McKenzie has cleared the zone. There's Letestu battling along the boards. Jackets come up with it. Como again, the long shot fought off by Johnson. And that's the key. The Jackets directing shots at that Boston net.
You want to be able to get up ice quickly, and again, that play that they had. McKenzie gets it deep. Good forward check by Letestu being on the puck, and then Como finding his own spot in the ice.
Less than 6.5 minutes left. Cross ice feed. Marchand moves it ahead. McKenzie draws the primary assist along with Letestu at 12:48. Jackets lead 1-0. Krug had it at that line. It goes off his stick and out of play.
We'll see the Blue Jackets take on the Montreal Canadiens. That's tomorrow night, November the 15th, 7 o'clock start with a Tim Hortons Jackets pack. That includes a ticket, $10 food and beverage voucher, Blue Jackets hat, Tim Hortons travel mug, and more. Get your tickets now at BlueJackets.com. Les Habitants come in to Nationwide Arena tomorrow night.
Here's Marchand blocking the near boards. Backhands it off. Murray defending against Bergeron. Moving off the point. Bruins control. Traffic in front of Bobrovsky. Off his pad. Shoveled ahead. And then batting it out of the air alertly there was young Murray. And the Jackets march down the ice. Foligno. Torchaput deep in the zone. Bartkowski. Or that is Krug, excuse me, defending. Picked up there by Foligno. Chaput Michael. 5:34 left in the opening period as we jump back behind the net. Seidenberg, left for Bergeron. Clearing pass out of the zone. London back ahead. Jackets must clear the zone, not play that puck.
Second goal of the season for Blake
And as play continues, it's Lucic muscling his way into the zone. Lucic with a shot and a stop made by Bobrovsky. Foligno dumps it wide of the net. Lucic out there with Kelly, who moved up onto that top line in the absence of Krejci, who left for the dressing room after the collision in Blue Jackets territory along the wall and were hit by Dubinsky. Marian Gaborik. Krejci, incidentally, has suffered from concussion issues previously. And he had lost his helmet as Dubinsky was finishing the check. Lucic off the skate of McGinley. Jackets move up ice, and it's Gaborik. Gaborik to the right wing feed. Nice move by Tootin. Tootin had it chopped away alertly there by Kelly, coming back and making the defensive play.
Good defensive player there by Kelly. Again, he hustles back, takes away that time, and then gets the stick as it looked like the back door might be open.
McGinley on open ice, attempting to stop Nikitin. Jackets fail to get into Boston territory, but the Bruins will be called here with icing. Called at the 15:42 mark, 4:18 left.
Well, before the Jackets hit the ice, get ready to join the battle on Blue Jackets Live on Fox Sports Ohio. Blue Jackets Live is brought to you by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Let's go places.
Faceoff will come to Johnson's right. Blake Como, the goal scorer. Jackets with the lead. McGinley chase from the circle. Gregory Campbell will step in. Campbell in for the defensive zone faceoff. Here, Savard turning away from McGinley. Shovels a backhand into the corner off the stick of Atkinson. Johansson reaching for it. Bruins play it. And on the march up the left wing, Thornton. Thornton attempting to gain Columbus territory. Paille able to sweep in. Bobrovsky. Left for Nikitin. Less than 4 left. Hustling forward here is Gregory Campbell with Paille and Thornton. Fourth line employed here by Claude Julien. Late in this opening period. Cam Atkinson steps to center. Dumps in. Behind the net, Johnson. Dubinsky deep on the forecheck. It's chopped ahead here for Thornton on that right wing. Thornton drops it back behind the net.
Here in this game, Jeff, so far, the Jackets have taken the crowd out of it. They've got to continue to do that. And again, if you can get into that second period with that 1-0 lead, how big it is for this hockey team.
Smith drops it back for Seidenberg. On for Krug. Dances to the neutral zone. Backhands a pass. And a beauty on that left wing. Walking in. There's an attempt. Oh, and it trickled away from Bobrovsky, but unable to hammer it home with Soderberg. Soderberg, an original draft pick by the St. Louis Blues and acquired in a trade from St. Louis to Boston. He was selected by then scouting director Jarmo Kekalainen. Of course, now the Blue Jackets general manager, who, by the way, will join me in the first intermission. 2:36 left. Kekalainen and the other National Hockey League general managers meeting in Toronto this week, discussing a number of issues, and we'll get into that and more with Jarmo at the conclusion of this opening period. Well, a near miss. The shot trickles by Bobrovsky. Soderberg is there, but can't send it home.
If you've got your crew in Miller Lite, you've got Miller Time.
Grab me one. It's Miller Time!
But what if one of your crew is Ken Jeong?
What's with the pig? Wait.
No way! Did you teach him that?
Yeah, I did. Sorry I'm late. I came straight from work.
Man, this line's ridiculous. No joke.
Ken, I'm that guy from that thing! Give me one. Miller Lite. Man, hey, wait.
It's not just a good time. It's Miller Time.
You can choose to blend in. Or you can choose to blend out. The all-new 2014 Lexus IS. It's your move.
Lease the all-wheel drive 2014 IS 250 for $369 a month for 27 months. See your Lexus dealer.
While we're slow roasting our turkey to perfection, you can do whatever. Bob Evans' new 3-course turkey dinner, just $9.99. Come see what's cooking. Yes, we've just topped ourselves with a bushel load of fresh blueberries or swirls of cinnamon and rich gooey icing. They're stacked, they're irresistible, and they're going like hotcakes. At Bob Evans, come see what's cooking.
Jackets lead at 1-0 late in the first period. Craig Hartsburg, we're seeing physical play. We're seeing the goal, obviously, and some good play out of your special teams. A lot of positives in this first period.
Yeah, we've been real good. 5-on-5 especially. I think our structure's been good. Our compete level's been good. And again, we know Boston's going to get better as the game goes on, so do we.
How important was it to get the first goal?
It's always important every game, but it's really important against a team like Boston, especially in their building.
That is certainly the key. You come into this building, it can be one loud place, but Jackets of silence.
Behind the defense! And Bergeron unable to beat Bobrovsky as that puck just rolled off his stick. A little more than 2 minutes left. Gabrick down the right wing, chips it off the wall. Edged out there by Bergeron. R.J. Umberger. Bergeron sends it up. Jack Johnson had committed. And now a race for the puck. Down that left side. Marchand taken wide by Jack Johnson. Poke check free. Swept to the point for Chara. Chara, wrist shot, scores! Chara's shot from the point, deflected right in front of Bobrovsky. It either went off the Jacket defender in front, or perhaps the Bruin player. And Boston here, with less than 2 minutes left, have cut the Jackets' lead and have tied it up.
Well, Bobrovsky was complaining right away, and he felt that he was interfered with, and you can see, not a chance. In that situation, look again where Louis Eriksson is in that slot area. It goes off of his skate or his leg into the back of the net. No interference, but just a simple little shot from the point. Eriksson will collect the goal.
Every goal is reviewed. The officials waited until they got a thumbs up from the off-ice officials, and play allowed to continue here. So Eriksson, who scored his first goal against the Blue Jackets in Columbus, has tied it up on the redirect of the Chara shot from the point. 1-1 the score. Less than 90 seconds left of the opening period. Johansson slides ahead for Dubinsky. Swept deep in the zone. Atkinson turned around on the play by Bartkowski. Eriksson. Chara getting the lone assist. 18-10, the time of the goal. Nikitin tried to send one towards the net. That pass picked up here by Kelly from Lucic. Kelly now with a Ginla. Kelly moves in. A Ginla to the front of the net. Tag saved by Sergei Bobrovsky. Less than a minute to go. Krug across the line. Krug centers the puck. It goes off Nikitin and wide. Gregory Campbell knocked down by McKenzie. Held in check by Savard. Johansson away from Krug. McKenzie out of the zone. McKenzie on to Como. Como from the right wing board sends it wide of the net. Final 30 seconds.
Time of the goal, 18 minutes.
Assist added to Bergeron. So the goal, Eriksson, assisted by Chara and Bergeron. 1-1 here in the waning seconds of this opening period. Como unable to clear. Campbell gets it ahead to Paille. No, cut off there by Wisniewski on to Murray. Final seconds. Como will just dump it deep into Boston territory. Foligno held in check there by Seidenberg, and that'll do it. The horn to end the opening period of play. The Bruins with 11 shots. The Blue Jackets 8. On the scoreboard, the teams trade first period goals. Eriksson tying it up after the Como goal at 12:48. So after one period of play.
I've played in arguably one of the best sports arenas in the world, and Nationwide Arena, you know, it was better of an atmosphere, which was incredible.
Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by Ohio Health, the official healthcare provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets, and by Ticketmaster. Score. Get the only NHL tickets sold by fans and verified by Ticketmaster. It's all hockey. No hassle. Right now at NHL.com/ticket exchange. Back here in the arena, teams have returned to the ice. So look at Blake Como, who is the Blue Jackets goal scorer at the opposite end. Erickson tying it up late in the period, and they are the subject of our IGS Energy performers through the opening period of play. Blake Como's second goal, Louis Erickson his third. 2 of his 3 goals have come at the expense of the Blue Jackets. Set for second period play. And Krejci has returned after leaving through much of the opening period of play after getting hit by Dubinsky along the wall in Columbus territory. He takes his normal spot at center ice between Iginla.
Look at Ryan Johansson. The face-off department done very well in the last 3 games. Well over his 50% mark. That has to continue. And I know number 19, he wants to add to his offensive totals. He said, and he's getting a few looks. Right now, he wants to be able to finish.
Face-off to Bobrovsky's left. Johansson and Krejci. And Johansson wins another one. Wisniewski off to Atkinson, away from Lucic. Chipped off the boards. A race for the puck. And Dubinsky sails into the zone as Krug sends it right in on his goaltender. Krejci drops it behind the net. Seidenberg is there. Right side, Krejci. Ahead for Lucic with Iginla. 3-on-2. Atkinson tries to come back, and moving laterally to make that stop there was Bobrovsky. On that odd man rush for Boston. Atkinson able to clear it to the Boston side, and it's picked up here by Torrey Krug. 45 seconds into the second period. Seidenberg. Head up, looks to Iginla on the left wing, unable to trap that puck. It sails deep into Jackets territory, and quickly Wisniewski gets it across ice for Jack Johnson. Johnson sends it up, just coming down right now. Marchand sprints around the net. Marchand hangs onto that puck. Looks off the defenseman, and Gabrick, who seems to have a little more jump here tonight, Bill.
Well, he needs to. I'll tell you what, this team needs number 10 to explode. He's got to continue to keep the legs moving.
Move to the point. Redirected again by the foot. Tell you what, Louis Erickson has played some soccer in his lifetime. Able to redirect it off the skate for the first goal, and there again, kicking that puck towards the Columbus net. Up along the boards, Chara. Wisniewski for Anisimov. R.J. Porter able to clear the zone as Chara finishes his check. Louis Erickson, right wing feed for Dougie Hamilton moving in. Boston change up as we approach the 2-minute mark. Outlet pass here for Como. Sent into Boston territory. Johnson for Chara. McKenzie gives up a little bit of size, but finishes his check on Chara nonetheless. Right wing feed. Puck taken away by Como. And Como had a strong first period and started similarly here in the second.
Well, Big East basketball comes to Fox this Saturday with a top 20 showdown between the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Marquette Golden Eagles. Coverage begins Saturday, 1 p.m. And that's Eastern, and it's only here on Fox.
Chapeau, Nick Foligno, and Jared Bull up front for the Jackets here now against the Kelly line. And Kelly takes that pass at center. On to Sundberg. He's got a breakaway. Moves in. Hangs on. And Bobrovsky flushing the leather and is able to send it wide of the net. Shot from the point. Again, Bobrovsky in front. This time plays it off the pad. Sundberg somehow found his way behind the Jackets defense. And Bobrovsky able to turn it aside.
Well, Nikitin caught off ice, and that's where you've got to have some help from your forwards, is that third man high defensive responsibilities.
Smith waits at center. Left wing cruising is Kelly. Jackets take that puck back and Bull from center. Looking for Foligno. Flips the backhand into Columbus territory. Bruins change up. It's the long change, and moving in is Foligno. Drop pass. And the shot sent down the ice by Boston, where Jack Johnson will pick up the loose puck. Atkinson with Dubinsky. Drop pass. Dubinsky down. Riding that point scoring streak. It's front for Atkinson, denied. Atkinson riding a 2-game goal scoring streak. Here's Johansson. And down is Johnson, and he will hold on with the Jackets cruising. And the red-hot line of Dubinsky, Johansson, and Atkinson, giving this Boston club a few fits.
Yeah, Jeff, you look at right there, and Dubinsky changes the gears up, and that's what starts that whole play. He's able to come up with that puck along the boards. He gives a little stutter step, kept the legs going, and a good job. And here's that breakaway that we talked about. Nice job by Bobrovsky to be able to take away the lower portion of the net, and you can see right now, Soderberg tries to pull it and then go up over top of the glove. Nice job by Bobrovsky to be aggressive.
And then seconds later, forced to make a stop off the pad. Jackets. Bobrovsky has elevated his game over the last several. And the Jackets certainly need a healthy and strong Bobrovsky here. In particular, the Jackets with but one home game here over the next stretch. Well, that goal line centering pass, and again it was Letestu trying to feed it in front for Blake Como. This is the line that got the Jackets on the board and had the early lead midway through the first period. Como connecting with a hit there on Seidenberg. The Jackets send the puck to the front of the net, and Johnson wisely holds on with Columbus cruising right there on the doorstep.
Hey fans, experience a Blue Jackets game in style. The Nationwide Arena Luxury Suite. Entertaining in a suite at a Blue Jackets game, it means the finest personalized service, comfortable seating, ample meeting space and privacy. For more information, contact the Blue Jackets Group Event Specialist. You can call 614-246-PUCK or visit BlueJackets.com. Do it in style.
Anisimov cleanly wins the faceoff. Ryan Murray sends it deep. Hamilton on for Louis Eriksson. Marchand now down that left side. Sends it towards the Jackets net. It's wide. Eriksson will play it up high. Sweeps to the point. Hamilton paired with Chara. Dishes to the corner off the glass. Wisniewski alertly takes it away from difficulty in front of the Columbus net. Now Wisniewski. Crusher. Umberger. Trying to fight off Bergeron. It's off his skate and kept in Jackets territory. Marchand throws it in front off Bergeron. Here's Hamilton. And Bobrovsky's going to hang on, and rightfully so here.
Right now on FoxSportsOhio.com, has Cam Atkinson regained his scoring touch? How will the outcome of Sunday's Browns-Bengals game affect the playoff picture? And get 3 takeaways from tonight's Blue Jackets-Bruins game. Complete coverage of all of today's action involving Ohio sports right here on FoxSportsOhio.com. So look at Bobrovsky. You said it, Jeff. I tell you, his game has elevated. It has to. A couple of odd man rushes. Since that 18-minute mark of period number 1, the Bruins regained a little bit of momentum. The Jackets have given up 2 odd man rushes here in the first 2 minutes of this period.
Chaput throws it in front on the backhand, played by Boston out of the zone. Left wing feed for Campbell. Campbell chipped into the corner. Nikitin for Foligno. Nick Foligno down the right wing to center. He's got Chaput with him. Foligno hangs onto that puck. Fights off Thornton. Heels it up high. Nikitin the one-timer. And it sails wide of the net. Savard for Cole in the corner. He'll try to cycle out. Boston's Thornton able to come up with that puck. And down the left side. Right-handed shot sends it right in on Bobrovsky. Melts up in the equipment. He'll hold on.
Well, there's a look at one of the guys that's been around the league for almost seems like forever. Again, that's Sean Thornton. A chance to win a cup back in 07 with Anaheim, but since coming to the Bruins, former Toronto draft pick, he has played some big minutes. And when he's out there with Campbell and you've got a Paille, one of the best fourth lines around, he adds a little toughness as well as a little grit around the wall.
After that his stick hand, play allowed to continue. Jack Johnson moves it ahead. And play whistled down. They'll have a face-off in the dot just outside Columbus territory. As the 2 teams match up for top line. Julian, of course. Hello, Julian. Has the last change. He is elected to have the Krejci line matched up against Johansson. Off his skate. Picked up here by Lucic on the turnover. He'll dump it wide of the Columbus net. Putin. With Jack Johnson, who's able to come up with that loose puck. Jack Johnson avoids a hit by Lucic. Lucic winning the battle along the wall. Again, centering pass off his skate. Krejci right there. It went off his skate, and Bobrovsky, ever alert, on the edge of the paint, will hold on.
You know, the Boston Bruins right now, they get the puck below that goal line, and then they start to work their way off the wall. You can see just forcing the front of the net in hopes it might hit something. You can see it go off of Bobrovsky, but on that backside, there was a bevy of Boston Bruins looking for something to squeak through.
Draw won by McKenzie. Wisniewski looking for Como. Chara steps up. Soderberg. Chara. Cross ice for Hamilton. Hamilton sends it ahead. Smith with a centering pass. Letestu's lost his stick. The Jackets chip it off the wall and out to center. Kelly drops it back here for Hamilton. Off Kelly. Bringing Murray to go to the wall. Fish free by Letestu. On to Como. Left wing McKenzie. Off Chara. Following through there is Murray. Tripped up on the play. Jackets will have to clear the zone, and Wisniewski stands at center. Murray heads to the bench. Anisimov for Como. Como dumps in, and he too races on. Savard waits patiently at the point. Soderberg for Boston. Throws it by Gabbard. In pursuit here is Bergeron. Savard finishing the check. Nikitin. Left wing pass for Umberger. Can't cradle that puck. Boston's got it. And it's on here to Bartkowski. Backhanded by Bergeron to the Jackets line. Savard flips a backhand for Anisimov. On for Nikitin. R.J. Umberger's backhand pass. Gabbard's got to return into the zone. Marchand ridden off on the play there by Savard.
He's had a good shift. David Savard reading the gap, taking the body. Great to see from 58.
Well, first the good hit there on Bergeron, and then comes back and gets a pretty good hit on Marchand. Meantime, Gabrick in the offensive zone. He goes off his skate. Bruins jump up. Jackets trying to hustle back into the zone. A drop feed here. Marchand, the long shot. Bobrovsky there. He'll hold on with 12:16 left in the second. Boston with a 17-12 advantage. Bobrovsky's been sharp. Gabrick and the Jackets tie.
When you compare a comparable Toyota Camry to a Honda Accord, Advantage Toyota. Camry has 10 airbags and gets better mileage than Accord. Advantage Toyota. Camry has a 2-year no-cost maintenance plan and is priced $1,400 less. Advantage Toyota. Now, during the final days, get a new Camry with 0% financing plus $500 bonus cash. Or lease one now for just $199 a month. Advantage Toyota. Toyota. Let's go places.
I'm Beth. And I'm Michelle. And we own the Paper Cottage. It's a stationery and gift store. That's cute. What's that? Anything we purchase for the Paper Cottage goes on our Ink card.
So you can manage your business expenses and access them online instantly with the game-changing app from Ink.
We didn't get into business to spend time managing receipts. That's why we have Ink.
We like being in business because we like being creative. We like interacting with people.
So you have time to focus on the things you love. Ink from Chase. So you can.
What is this we of Ohio Health? It's we the people, 22,000 strong. More experts in more specialties, seamlessly connected to each other and you. But that's not all we are. We are also 8 hospitals, 42 care sites. So in Central Ohio, you're never more than 10 minutes away from Ohio Health expertise. It's how we connect you to a healthier you. Ohio Health. Believe in we.
Now Gregory Campbell on the left out of Tillsonburg, Ontario. James Wisniewski, again, out of the Detroit area. Both of them had a chance to play junior for the Plymouth Whalers back in 2000. 2002, they had 2 years. They had a pretty solid hockey team. In fact, went to the OHL finals, only to fall to the Ottawa 67s in 6 games. And that second year, James Wisniewski voted CHL Defenseman of the Year.
And, of course, Gregory Campbell, the son of former NHLer and current senior vice president for the National Hockey League, Olin Campbell. Very proud of his son. Of course, who will ever forget last spring in the Stanley Cup playoffs, Gregory Campbell blocking successive shots despite a broken leg. Left wing, Dubinsky with Johansson and Atkinson. Dubinsky rifles it high on that stick shot. Meantime, Bruins come back, drop pass there. Krejci onto again, a one-timer, and Bobrovsky anticipating, straight to the shooter and not giving the Bruins much to shoot at. On that rush up ice, Bobrovsky again able to turn it aside.
Well, the Jackets had an odd man rush, and you could see them coming in, and this is where you have to hit the net. You cannot allow this to happen because what do they have? They have 4 abreast coming up the ice. Beautiful pass into space. There's Torrey Krug letting go that one-timer, but it's so imperative that you hit the net. When you have an odd man rush, not give the opportunity back to the opposition.
Bruins keep it in. It was gloved ahead, so play's been quickly whistled down. Again, represented Canada at every level and talked about his face-off prowess. How about 5-1 in period number 1? Good to see him healthy. Again, you like to watch good players play, and he is one player that, again, Canada can be very proud of and everything that he does each and every year for this country. Well, the Bruins certainly pleased with Bergeron, as well they should be. Since the 2011-2012 season, he is number 1 in face-off win percentage with better than 60%. Hamilton knocked down there by Murray. Unable to clear the zone. Marchand now trying to dance free and away from the Jackets rookie. Turns it over to R.J. Umberger. Umberger had it chopped off his stick. Hamilton gets it ahead. Marchand, Eriksson, Louis Eriksson, the backhand, and again Bobrovsky hanging on. And one thing, he is hanging on to those rebounds, not giving the Bruins a second chance.
Well, Saturday, December 14th, is Hockey and Heels, presented by Myers Jewelry. You can enjoy a ladies' night out, discuss the game in a fun and casual environment. That package is going to include a game ticket, hors d'oeuvres and drinks, Myers Jewelers gift card, commemorative gift, and more for just $65. Reserve your spot now at BlueJackets.com/Hockey and Heels.
Kelly chased in the circle. Soderberg will step in. Chaput for Montreal. Or rather, for the Blue Jackets. Montreal tomorrow night, sitting in Columbus this evening. The Jackets opposition. Chaput defending in front. Savard sweeps it to the corner. Kelly. Back at the point. Our side of the ice now moving in. Kelly. Kelly drops the pass, but right to Jared Bull. Bull might have been calling for that one, for that drop pass sent into the zone. There's Nick Foligno. Foligno dropped in front for Chaput, and it sails all the way back to the right point. Off the wall. Bull. Chaput looking for some open ice. Bull. Right back for Foligno. Austin's clearing pass picked up here by Soderberg. Soderberg. He's got Kelly with him. The two cross the line. Soderberg backhands it, but wide of the net. Flip to the far side, moving it is Krug, alertly played by the Jackets. Foligno can't clear. Thornton lets one fly. That's wide in the net. Tootin finishing a check there on Soderberg late in the shift. Feder Tootin now, the outlet pass on the backhand. Sent to center. Krug will step up. Deals to Campbell. Gregory Campbell across the line. Drops the pass. Thornton lets one go and scores. Oh, off the goalpost.
Well, that's just a perfect shot. They come across that line. Again, you hear guys, you get guys blocking shots, physical play along the walls we talked about, and you can see that quick up right there. Krug sees the ice, and then the play by Campbell, and then look where the shot is taken from. That's one that Bobrovsky has to have, and I've got a feeling that beat him on that short side, inside that post. There it goes. It might look like it might have changed direction as well. Anyway you look at it, it's a 2-1 Boston lead.
Thornton second. And the Bruins have their first lead as we're just past the midway point of period number 2. Bobrovsky moves it to the corner. Thornton again sends it in front. Como tosses it into Mackenzie's corner. Behind the net. Bruins control, moving it up and out of their own zone. Wisniewski for Como. Chip back in. Bartkowski and Wojciak on the points as Wisniewski lets one fly. That's wide of the net. Savard turned around the wall. Centering pass redirected by Johnson. The active stick of the goaltender keeping it away from in front of his net. Savard and Nikitin are on the points. And it's Savard. He's had a strong game here. Recently missed 5 of 6 games in a healthy stretch. He stepped up his game here. Coach Todd Richards suggesting prior to the Washington game that he wasn't playing as well as he had earlier on in the season. But given him a chance to get back in the lineup tonight. Savard has been one of the better Blue Jackets defensemen.
And that's what you like to see. He is a big body, and you can see him playing physical. He's involved, and he's reading the play away from the puck, which is what you want to see.
Savard gets it on the net, off the blocker. Atkinson following it up. Chara chasing the Jackets winger as referee Denny LaRue dumped. Our side of the ice, backhanded off the wall. Lucic can't play it. Davinsky will step back in onto Johansson. Johansson rifles a wrist shot right in on Johnson, and he will hold on. As we go to break, Thornton lets one fly from the circle, and it definitely was deflected.
Oh no. These guys have trapped themselves. Welcome to the neighborhood, guys.
When your feet hurt, your work suffers. So try Timberland Pro Hyperion work boots. Anti-fatigue technology, 30-day comfort guarantee. Make it pro.
You can choose to blend in. Or you can choose to blend out. The all-new 2014 Lexus IS. It's your move. Lease the all-wheel drive 2014 IS 250 for $369 a month for 27 months. See your Lexus dealer.
Step into the spotlight and be a star. This is your ticket to the ultimate scene. A leading role in our big Hollywood blockbuster. Here, you call the shots and direct the action. Because at these tables, it's always your time to shine. So get ready. There's no place like Hollywood.
2-1 Bruins. Dan, you could kind of feel that goal coming. How do the Blue Jackets get some of the momentum back they had in the first period?
It's just about getting pucks behind their net. Anytime you get pucks behind their net on this team, it's going to make it hard on their defense. And you have to get them to turn around, face the backboards, and then you make plays at the front of their net. They're all packed in that house, so you have to find a way inside, and that's how.
And a young goaltender that I know you'd like to test a little more.
Yeah, I think we got something like 14 shots, not enough. You know, against a team like this, you know, they're not going to be high quality, so you got to get a lot, and then you got to get bodies in front of them.
X's and O's, it all boils down to, though, the skating legs have to be there. To start period number 2, Boston Bruins right now out skating and outplaying the Jackets.
And we see our first change of the night as far as the lines are concerned. Nick Foligno, who Coach Todd Richards promised, depending on how things went and how Nick felt, he would be moving up to the 4th line. He's now playing here with Anisimov and Gabrick. Another big stop by Bobrovsky. So Foligno moving up. And the Jackets certainly need to get something going here offensively. 7:34 left.
They really do. They've got to get back to those one-on-ones. At the beginning of this game, they were doing an excellent job in the offensive zone. Right now, they're being penned and thrown.
Puck sails over the defender Hamilton's stick, played here by Chara. Boston captain steps away from Foligno onto Hamilton. Long lead pass here for Lucic. He'll send it high and into Columbus territory. Suit loving it away from Eriksson. Backhanded by Bergeron. Here's Marchand cruising. Deals back here to Krug. Krug with a quick shot. It goes off Foligno and wide. Shooting all over Eriksson. Scored that first period goal for Boston. Bergeron. Taken to task there by Jack Johnson. Seidenberg off the point. Bergeron trying to fish that puck free. It does come free. Played here by Anisimov. Off Marchand out to center ice. Bergeron for Boston. 6:35 left. Sends it into the Jackets in. Quickly. Left wing Dubinsky. Bergeron linking the shift as Dubinsky tries to fly through. Held up briefly there by Krug. That's Atkinson called down. Play allowed to continue. Here's Johansson, a quick shot off the goalpost. He had Johnson beat. Johansson with a quick wrist shot. Gets it back again. On to Dubinsky. Seidenberg draped all over him. It's lifted up and out. And this one will be icing.
Well, 'tis the season to give the gift of hockey. Blue Jackets Holiday Pick-em Pack. Packs start at just $89 and includes 2 tickets to 2 games of your choice and a player autograph puck, all packaged in a holiday gift box. Call 1-800-NHL-COLS or visit BlueJackets.com/holiday pack to buy yours today.
Dubinsky in the corner from the faceoff. Dubinsky now looking to walk out. Sends it up high. Wisniewski with a shot. Didn't get enough of it. Johansson reaching for it in the corner. Up high, Ryan Murray onto Wisniewski. Wisniewski pressured, and the Bruins come away. 3-on-1. Trying to get back to help out there is Johansson. A quick shot and a stick save. Marchand winning the battle from Wisniewski along the wall. Johansson skates it out to center. Johansson flips in R.J. Umberger. Replacing Foligno on the fourth line. Jackets with the steal. Chapeau. And in turn, the puck taken away from him by Boychuk. Right wing at center. The Bruins. Kelly. On to Bartkowski. Hammered in. Behind the net. Bobrovsky. Far side. The Bruins. Smith. There's Chapeau. With Jared Bull. Stepping up here is Nikitin at center. Hammers it in. And the Jackets, with a short shift, will change him up.
Well, I think 39 is going to be a candidate for more ice. He is sturdy to play some solid hockey.
There's a long shot. Loose puck in front. Jackets can't get to it. Smith. Soderberg across the line. He's got Kelly with him. Kelly overskates the puck. Jackets come away. McKenzie with the speed. Crossing the line. Looks for Letestu, sweeps a backhand behind that Boston net, takes a wicked bounce off the glass, and the Bruins have cleared it to center with Skorton. Bring back in, Como, long shot. Chad Johnson has it, and he will hold on. 4:21 left. Second period. Bruins lead by 1.
At GMC, incredible thinking is everywhere. It's in the state-of-the-art dealerships. It's in a customer experience that's ranked highest by J.D. Power. And it's in the advanced engineering of the entire GMC lineup. Lease this 2014 GMC Terrain SLE for around $199 per month. Plus, get 1 year of SiriusXM, including every NFL game.
We got a safe driver headed toward the freeway. He is doing 44 in a 45. Now
in the nation, Safe just got a little more exciting. Add Vanishing Deductible from Nationwide Insurance and get $100 off for every year of safe driving. Just another way we put members first, because we don't have shareholders.
Bill, that's the perfect merge. That was flawless.
Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Insurance is proud to be the official insurance provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets. Contact a local agent or visit nationwide.com.
The building was crazy. It was out of control. You could feel the energy from your teammates and the guys on the ice and from the bench. And, you know, that's what you live for as a player, is to score a goal in a big moment like that. I've played in arguably one of the best sports arenas in the world, and Nationwide Arena, you know, it was better of an atmosphere, which was incredible.
Now there's 28-year-old Mark Letestu, and after winning Rookie of the Year in the CCHA back in 06-07, well, today he celebrates his 200th game. It was 4 years ago today that he also played his first NHL game against the same Boston Bruins team. And he collected an assist on that Como goal, the primary assist back in period number 1. An even strength goal at that point to make it a 1-0 game.
Fourth line out there. McKenzie wins the draw. Letestu shovels it back to Nikitin. Como. Letestu with a shot that's blocked. And the Bruins march out of their own zone. Gregory Campbell sends it wide of the net. Nikitin plays it off that backboard with Campbell coming quickly. Como into the clear. There's Paye sweeping it off into the corner. Nikitin takes a swing at it, missing. Krug knocked down by Nikitin. Off the wall, the Jackets march out of the zone. McKenzie. Arm around him by Paille. There's Seidenberg. Cut off far side. Homo tossing it back behind the net. Less than 4 minutes left here in the second period. Bruins send it the length of the ice. Nikitin. Head up. Ginla coming. Here's Foligno with Johansson. Backhanded and scores! Nick Foligno, welcome back. The Jackets have tied it up.
Well, an excellent job by the Jackets. Again, you had a chance to watch Nikitin when he had a hold of that puck back in his own zone. He had the head, tried to see if he could basically make a pass up through the middle of the ice. That wasn't there. What's he do? How about an indirect pass off of the boards to Foligno, and then he finds his own space, and then a fortuitous bounce off of that rebound and a nice backhand. Welcome back, Jack. I'll tell you what, Nick puts it into the back of the net on the backhand, and it's a 2-2 game.
Fourth goal of the season for Foligno. And that has certainly quieted the crowd here in Boston. 2-2 now with 3:24 left. Gabrick, Chaput, and Foligno. Chaput moving up in the lineup here. Lucic backhands it out of the zone. Krejci squeezed out along the wall there by Chaput. Loose puck played there by Jack Johnson. Chaput trying to hit Foligno at the line. Gabrick, nice move to keep it in. His shot is blocked by Hamilton as he got a leg on it. Krejci with Iginla across the line. Made by Iginla along the near boards. On for Krejci. Lucic steps the screen in front, and that's set wide of the net. Foligno quickly on it. It's Foligno for Cam Atkinson. Chaput late in the shift. Go get a well-deserved rest. Atkinson in deep. Circles the net. Swept to the corner there for Dubinsky. Chara defended. Johansson reaching. Puck played on his own to the left wing feed for Marchand. Nikitin draws the lone assist. Here come the Jackets again. Johansson across the line. Hangs onto that puck. Gets it cross ice. Murray floats it back, knocked down in front by Chara, and cleared to center ice. Marchand pursues Wisniewski as he sends it off the glass to the Boston line. Wisniewski paired with Ryan Murray. Less than 2 minutes left. Murray, right wing Johansson. Across the line, Dubinsky and Bolin. Centering pass off Dubinsky's stick, covered up by Chad Johnson, and there's no further play.
Fans, you can make your plans now to get on board the Blue Jackets Fan Express. Bring your group to Nationwide Arena, and you can certainly do it in style. For more information, just call 614-246-PUCK or go to BlueJackets.com. Again, the Blue Jackets Fan Express. Well, there's a look at Matt Bartkowski from The Ohio State University and Pittsburgh native. Really has enjoyed his stay here, and they say right now he could be in the top 4, but with the depth of the defense in this organization, well, he's relegated to minor time.
The deck continues to be shuffled here by Coach Todd Richards. Yet another new line combination, Anisimov, Umberger, and Jared Bull. Toss to the far side, that's Smith. White shot, high off the glass, over the stick of Nikitin, who drew the assist on the tying goal by Foligno. And with the hybrid icing, they'll head back to Boston territory. All rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, or other use of the broadcast without the express written consent of the Columbus Blue Jackets is expressly prohibited.
After a pathetic face-off performance in period number 1, the Jackets have overtaken 51% now for the hockey game, and a big win there.
Off the wall, into Columbus territory. Jack Johnson away from Kelly.
1 minute remaining.
Less than a minute to go here in period number 2. Bartkowski sending it in to the Columbus end once more. Jack Johnson. For Fedor-Tutin, walks it to the line. Looks for Letestu, who steers it the rest of the way. Wojciech comes to play from Johnson. They get wires crossed there. And again, that's a situation where you have a goaltender that's only playing his 3rd game of the season. And the communication, a bit of a problem there, but the Jackets unable to get to that puck. Picked up here by Krejci. Tries to walk around Wisniewski. Chaput reaching for it. Along the wall. Sent to the corner. Bartkowski brings it around the boards. Again, will let it go. There's Barry and Gaborik in the waning seconds of period number 2. Wisniewski and Jack Johnson. Foligno has tied it up here in the second. Chipped it behind the net. Again, the double team there by Foligno, and Jack Johnson falls to the ice. Wisniewski walks it to the line, and there's the siren to end the second period. And not unlike the first, the teams trade second period goals. Thornton midway through, and then Nick Foligno at 16:34. After 40 minutes of play, here from the TD Garden in Boston. Columbus 2, Boston 2. Back after this.
Oak.com. The Buckeye Hall of Fame Grill, where everybody knows your game. Check us out on Facebook or BuckeyeGrill.com.
Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by Roush Honda. For the best deals on new wheels, it's Roush Honda. And by AT&T Uverse TV. Check availability, 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. Getting set for third period play. The teams tied at 2. And now, here's tonight's AT&T Rewind. For that, we go to the island. Early second period, no score.
Well, it's a matter of how about 2 minutes and 14 seconds for the New York Islanders to change the complexion of this hockey game. Again, I want you to watch 53, Casey Cizikas. Again, he picks up his own rebound, finds himself in front of the net. Matt Martin, Cal Clutterbuck, they'll collect assists. That's at 2:44. And then the quick transition. Kyle Pozo, look at that active stick. And then the play by Tavares, being able to make that pass backside to the University of Minnesota product, Aaron Ness. That made it a 2-0 game. Again, 2 goals in 2 minutes and 14 seconds.
Ben Scrivens in goal in that hockey game for the Los Angeles Kings. Jonathan Quick, who very well could be the Olympic goaltender, back in Los Angeles after suffering hamstring and groin issues. He is not expected to be out for a lengthy period of time. Lucic, left for Seidenberg. Chipped by Wisniewski, hustled to the goal line before retreating to the left point. Atkinson fights off the Lucic hit. Atkinson now carries out of the zone on to Johansson with Dubinsky on the left side. Chip behind the net. Atkinson goes awkwardly over the boards. Getting the worst of that one was Seidenberg. Lucic attempts to clear. Good steal by Atkinson, but unable to keep it in the offensive zone. And a dangerous end boards collision between the two. Atkinson, fortunately, able to get back up.
And you think of that ankle that he injured a year ago. He's had no problems with it. In fact, he's been injury-free here to start the season.
I didn't even think about that. Oh, nice steal here. Chaput lets one go. And the stop by Chad Johnson. How about the AEP power play summary? All the penalties in the opening period of play. And the teams are perfect on the kill.
Well, this is where Todd Richards now, he talks about structure and what he needs to have done, and it's all 3 zones. And it starts getting the puck deep and then making sure the gap between the forwards and the defense is close. Slow down the speed of the Boston Bruins.
Left wing pass over the stick of Marshall and called on the icing. How about the 4-game summary, Bill?
Well, if you go back to period number 1, again, that Como goal to start the game, 12:48, that's certainly a key. But then they gave up the Erickson goal with less than 2 minutes to go. And it looked like Boston started to get the legs, but it was the goal by Foligno to tie it at 16:34 of period number 2. That's the difference.
You saw on that Ford summary, Jackets have out-hit the Bruins. And as far as the shots on goal are concerned, the Bruins with a slight edge, 23-21. Jackets with the pressure on it. This third line has certainly created some opportunities. Como walks out of the corner. Looks up high. Jack Johnson hangs on. Now fires a shot. Ricochets off a stick and wide. Chimera pressure. Dug free is Letestu. Throws it behind the net. Chara is there. The Boston captain. For Bergeron. Stepping up is Foligno. Rick Foligno battles against the two Bruins. Puck comes loose to Bergeron. Dougie Hamilton back to Chara. Sails over his stick. Foligno on the forecheck. Hamilton throws it up the near wall. Picked up by Louis Eriksson. Eriksson for Bergeron. Rimmed around the wall. Gabrick in pursuit. Will be played up high and tossed behind the Jackets net once more. Bergeron hands to Soderberg from the point. A drive by Bartkowski and the save made by Bobrovsky.
Well, a good job there by Bobrovsky. And one thing I want the fans to watch at home, and again, having number 71 back in the lineup. Stop, start, making sure that his shoulders are up ice, forcing the Boston Bruins to move the puck. But he does an excellent job of being able to watch the play. There's no flybys, there's no circling. Nice job there by 71.
Bull taking the place of Gabrick on this line with Anisimov and R.J. Umberton. We saw the shuffling of the deck by Coach Todd Richards to start the second period. Wojciech shovels it in front off Soderberg's stick. He was right there on the doorstep, but could not convert from backhand to forehand. Jackets attempt to clear, but can't. This time, Bull will walk it out away from Smith. Bull down that right wing. Jared Bull fires a wrist shot. Save made by Johnson off that right pad. Jackets pressure our side, but the Bruins clear. Inside Columbus territory, Ryan Murray walks it out. Anisimov along the wall. Back here for Murray. Murray for Wisniewski. Waiting patiently on the right wing, but unable to cradle that puck. It was Atkinson with the Bruins control. Bartkowski to center. Chips it off the boards. Paille in pursuit. Knocks it down. Paille from the left wing. And denied a shot as Wisniewski stepped in front of it. Here's Seidenberg drilling it high and wide of the net. Off the point is Krug. Krug hands it right to Johansson. Unable to clear the zone. Thornton, Krug. Jackets come up with it. The home run pass here for Dubinsky. One man back. Dubinsky fights off Krug. Looks in front for Johansson. And he can't fire it home. Heads up play by the Jackets all the way around. But they could not put the puck in the net. Now at the other end, Campbell stirring that Thornton attempt. Jackets 2-on-1. Johansson with Atkinson. Atkinson in front. Denied. Pad save. Oh, we're going end to end here right now. Here's a shot from the point. Loose puck, Dubinsky. Dubinsky circles the net. Jackets look to Jack Johnson. On here to Tooten. Better Tooten. Johnson. Traffic in front of Chad Johnson. And a flurry at both ends here. Oh.
Well, they open things up. And here gives you an idea. There's the work by Dubinsky to get behind the defense. And he uses his strength, just lays it into space. And what a save right there by Johnson. As again, you see Johansson, a right-handed shot. That's where you got to stop. You stick around. That rebound may be available. An excellent effort. Good body work right there by 17 to protect the puck.
4:05 gone here in the third. Letestu directing Como to step behind him. Top of the circle. Chara. Lucic had it chopped away here by Como. This line has had a strong game. Chipped in with a goal. A 2-2 tie here as we approach the 5-minute mark. Lucic reaching for it. Played there by Como. McKenzie able to rifle it in. Up on that left wing. Most of the night, Bo Julian has left the matchup. Power against power. First line against first line. But he's managed to keep the Krejci line, at least for that shift, away from Johansson's line. This is Chaput. Chaput, nice move to get out of the zone. Left wing feed for Foligno. Right side, Marian Gabrick. Foligno. Chaput, Gabrick wants that puck. Puck sails over a stick and away go the Bruins. Left wing, that's Marchand. Dancing through it across the line. Wisniewski defends. Marchand puts the brakes on at that half forward. Wisniewski finishing the check. Sent right in on Bobrovsky, and he'll hold on.
Well, after the Blue Jackets game, Fox Sports Ohio breaks down the game and talks to the players and the coaches on Blue Jackets Live, presented by IGS Energy. IGS Energy, take control of your natural gas and electricity costs and enroll today at IGSenergy.com.
Gabrick is heading off to the bench. Johansson comes on in his place to take the faceoff. Chaput and Foligno remain out. The draw won by Bergeron. Behind the net, Marchand. Ryan Murray right there defending. Marchand knocked to the ice by the Jackets rookie, Foligno. Had the puck briefly. Pressure coming from Louis Eriksson onto Marchand. Chipped on the backhand to the point. Hamilton lets one fly, and it went off the side of the net. Jackets, Nick Foligno with Chaput. Backhanded. Deep into the zone. Jackets change up as play continues. Clearing pass picked up there by Bergeron. Knocked to the ice. Jackets control, and it's David Savard. Long stretch pass here on the left wing for Anisimov. Moves in, fires. Pad save. Johnson. Louis Eriksson. A goal tonight. His third of the season, second against the Jackets. Look at Savard jump up in the play. Savard walks in. And from the paint, Chad Johnson able to cover it up. Again, this has been one of the best games of the season. He played strong early on. And look at walk right into your living room. And Chad Johnson with the stop.
Oh no. These guys have trapped themselves. Welcome to the neighborhood, guys.
When your feet hurt, your work suffers. So try Timberland Pro Hyperion work boots. Anti-fatigue technology, 30-day comfort guarantee. Make it pro.
Haz que fluya este ritmo suave. Que no pare.
The Miller Lite Punch Top can. Let it flow. S. Miller time.
Clearance time means clearance pricing at Roush Honda. Lease a brand new Civic or Fit for only $109 a month. Lease an Accord or CRV all-wheel drive for just $179 a month. Hurry in for the best selection. Straight talk, clearance pricing. Roush Honda.
When I'm craving steak for breakfast, I'm craving real steak. Not one of those unsatisfying steak patties. I'm talking real slices of seasoned steak. The kind of steak I get at my Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop with their new grilled steak and egg breakfast sandwich. Tender slices of steak seasoned to perfection and served with an egg omelet and cheese on a home-style biscuit. Then it's grilled. Yeah, grilled. A breakfast sandwich so serious, it's only here for a limited time. Hello Steak. Buy a grilled steak and egg breakfast sandwich and add any size coffee for only $1. Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop.
Tied at 2. A look at the respective netminders for their team. Johnson on the left, Bobrovsky on the right. You see the shots on goal. And how about the Ohio Health great save?
Well, you go back to the second period. Carl Soderberg, 28 years old, former second-round pick of the St. Louis Blues, in all alone. Tries to pull it backhand and shelf, and you can see the save by Bobrovsky to take away that right side of the net.
And Soderberg selected in the draft by the Blues under the watchful eye of scouting director at the time, Jarmo Kekalainen. Of course, now the Blue Jackets general manager, and how about this? A former member of these Boston Bruins. He played 20-some-odd games for the Bruins as an NHLer. Kind of looking around the arena to see if there was any Jarmo Kekalainen pictures, but couldn't find any.
He took him down before he came in and taking him back with him.
Approaching the 7-minute mark. Bruins left wing pass. On to the right side. Here's Smith. Across the line. Smith trying to walk right in. Savard with a poke check. And Umberger has drawn a penalty. Hauled down. The Jackets will go to the power play and an opportunity to take the lead for the second time tonight. Kelly will go off for tripping.
Yeah, Kelly gets a stick involved. Umberger goes down. And there's a look at Denny LaRue. He makes the call. Let's take a look just inside the line. And see again, Umberger gets a chance to come up. Look at the stick. Not much that 18 could do in that play.
Jackets are 0 for 2. They have had 3 shots on their previous 2 power play attempts. As you get a look there at Chris Kelly, Johansson, Foligno, Dubinsky, Wisniewski, and Murray He sees the puck glance off his shoulder onto that Boston bench, and there's no further play.
Oh, what an addition right there. You get 71 back in the lineup. You can just see the bench. The heads are up. The chest is out. He scores a big goal. Again, a big one at that to tie this game at 2.
Chara sends it back.
Boston penalty number 23, Chris
Columbus
Kelly,
territory. We close in on the 7-minute mark. Jackets Wisniewski will either rush up ice.
Minor penalty for
Wisniewski. Right. A 3-game point scoring streak here. Johansson sends it through, moves it around the wall. Cut off here on the left wing. No, it comes out to Murray. In front, Dubinsky could not convert on that hard pass from Murray. He was all alone. Here's Wisniewski. Dubinsky hangs up, fires a shot. In front, Murray looking for that backdoor play, pinching in off the point. The puck just bounced on him in front of the Boston Kings. Gregory Campbell chips it off the board, sends it deep into the Jackets' end. A little more than a minute left of the power play. Bruins change up the kill. Jackets similarly on the power play. Dubinsky waits on that left wing. Letestu trailing. Drop pass Letestu. Letestu in turn sends it to Atkinson. Up high, cross ice. There's Jack Johnson off the point. Johnson behind the net. Letestu. Centering feed for Atkinson, who was moving and could not get a stick on the puck. Short-handed. Bergeron walks into the zone offside. Marchand ahead of the puck carrier. And the offside call. 44 seconds left. A lot of amateur linesmen in the crowd, a little upset with that call.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look back in that offensive zone. The Jackets have an opportunity on that power play. Jack Johnson trying to read, was patient, and you could see. And again, give Johnson a lot of credit, the goaltender. Look at right there. He gets a blade on it, deflects that puck back into the slot. Atkinson was there all alone and ready.
Hamburger, Gabrick, and Atkinson up front. Better two. Jack Johnson around the point. Two. Locks it out of the zone. Lead pass here for Umberger. Gabrick darts to the net. Umberger turns, sends it back here to Tooten. Far side, Jack Johnson. Umberger sets the screen in front of Johnson. Shot gets through. Pad save, rebound. Oh, it just trickled wide of the near post. Jackets got that shot through. Behind the net, Bobrovsky. 12 seconds remain. Jackets power play. Here's Tooten. Tooten steps to center. Hammers in high off the glass. Gabrick here on the left side. Down to 1 second. Out steps Kelly. Jackets have got to be aware of it. Jack Johnson able to keep it in. Gabrick trying to fight off Hamilton. Dougie Hamilton. Outlet pass on the right side. Kelly drops the pass for Bergeron. Bergeron trying to walk to the net. Poke check neatly by Nikitin. Atkinson. Johnson, Nikitin, off the wall. McKenzie sends it to center. Letestu in pursuit. Bruins send it to the Jackets line. Jackets got to be sharp at that line. They turn it over, but Bobrovsky makes the stop and holds on.
Well, that's what the Jackets have to continue to do. Near the blue lines, they've got to be responsible. But this goes back to the end of that power play. Look at the puck in the air, and then Cam Atkinson, good timing. It comes right down onto his stick. But look at Johnson, his position as he moves from his left to right. He's able to make that save on that blocker.
From the draw, Krug looking behind the net for Louis Eriksson. Savard able to get a stick on it. Out of the corner, Marchand sends it up high for Krug. Swept away, alertly there by Letestu. Como joins the rush. Trailing is McKenzie. Centers to McKenzie, and he tried to tap it home, and it just trickled off the pad of the goaltender Johnson. Again, the Jackets' third line tonight. They are the only line that's been kept together throughout the contest, and they have been effective throughout this hockey game.
They use each other. There's a lot of communication, and they continue to keep the legs going.
There's Chaput. Looks it ahead for Foligno. Off the boards to center. Gabrick tried to feed Chaput. Kelly comes up with it for Boston. We passed the midway point in the third period. Drop pass here for Hamilton. Backhands it in front. Kick save and a beauty. The pad there of Bobrovsky sees it through all that traffic in front. Kelly. Murray chases. Up high. Smith. Off the back of Chaput. Chara's shot blocked by Chaput. Foligno walks it to the line and out. Circles back. dances away from Soderberg. Now Foligno will dump in deep. Nick Foligno returning to the Jackets. In his game tonight, he has missed 6 of the first 17. Here's Krejci trying to feed Lucic. Lucic throws it in front. Krejci was tied up. Jackets Johansson along the wall. 2 Bruins are there. Krejci all over Dubinsky. Lucic comes up, walks it off the wall, tries to center it. Jackets come up with it, and Dubinsky will flip to center. Sam Atkinson had it briefly. Krejci turned around in the play. Stepping up, Johansson on to Dubinsky. Look at Atkinson. And that pass just beyond the outstretched stick of the Jackets' white winger. Dubinsky got a stick on it, deflected it wide, and the Bruins walk away. Right side again left. Hits Lucic at the line. Look at Ryan Murray make the defensive play.
Well, he does a great job. Wisniewski caught up ice in 27. He filled the gap.
This game opening up here in the third period. I'm sure a lot more wide open than the 2 coaches would want.
I know one of them anyway. Todd Richards wants to keep this, and that was one of the keys. In your structure, it has to be tight.
Up along the boards. Umberger kept in by Krug. Rifles it wide. Soderberg off the point. Soderberg looks here for Campbell. Campbell had it knocked away. Krug sweeps the backhand behind the net for Payet. Tootin is there defended. Up high, Krug sends a shot that's blocked by Jared Bull. With Anisimov and Umberger. Umberger takes the pass. Turned around to the play at the Boston line. Payet picked up here by Thornton. John Thornton across the line, drills it. This one is gloved by Bobrovsky. 7:45. Exciting third period action from the TD Garden in Boston. And we'll be right back.
You could run with these guys, Doug. Sure, they might be 3 times your size. But you have 3 times the steak. That's what a man eats. That was a trouble. Grab your umbrellas, ladies. Hurricane Doug's gonna make it rain. 3 times the steak makes you feel like 3 times the man. The new triple steak stack from Taco Bell.
Looking for a reason to get a Ford SUV with an EcoBoost engine? I got 10.
To hear that there's an SUV that got that kind of mileage, that's very exciting.
That's because Ford mileage beats Toyota in every segment we compete.
You could hear the oomph. This feels like a sports car, man.
That would be the EcoBoost. Next up.
Had amazing control, safety, intuitive,
3 rows.
Not a bang for your buck.
And the number 1 reason?
Woo!
That sums it up nicely.
Get an Escape with 0 for 60 plus $17.50 cash back. Or lease for $199 a month.
Enough of this golf already.
How much of the golf?
I'm stupid.
You're stupid. Boys, settle down. At Time Warner Cable, any of these devices can be your TV at the click of a button. No one offers more sports on more devices than Time Warner Cable.
Why do you got a laptop?
I want the cell phone.
Give me that laptop.
Call 1-855-WANT-TWC and ask how you can save up to $600. Switch to a better entertainment experience, guaranteed. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better.
Now there's a look at both coaches, and Claude Julien said this morning, the Columbus Blue Jackets are a team. They believe in what they are doing, and right now they're a couple of breaks away from turning the corner. He said, I hope it doesn't happen tonight. But he's impressed with the work ethic, the way they battle. They play a weighty and a heavy game, and he knew that they were going to be in for a game here tonight. And the Jackets have done a nice job throughout the course of 2.5 periods.
First thing he said, dismiss their record. They are not the hockey club that own their present record, in the opinion of the coach of the Boston Bruins. Now the Bruins taking exception to McKenzie attempting to play that puck. And the Bruins player lost his footing, went awkwardly into the boards. And time for our Timberland hit of the game.
But go back to period number 1. Again, we thought that maybe Krejci would be out of the lineup. Look at that hit. Again, Dubinsky went in. Krejci was on his way down. You could see the helmet come off. Krejci was gone for the majority of period number 1, but he has been back. The number 1 line reunited again.
What really hurt Krejci on that play was the fact that he fell over Dubinsky's stick and then lost his helmet all in one motion. He has returned here for the second and third periods. Certainly he's a key member of that top line. Alongside McGinley, there's going to be a penalty here. Another Boston penalty. Another opportunity for the Jackets. And Marchand, I talked about this in the second period. Marchand feels that the officials are unfairly targeting him, keeping an eye on him. He hauls down Savard there. Julian can't believe it. And it's almost like a penalty a game that Julian kind of waves his hands when Marchand is called. And there, that's pretty obvious to me.
The only thing he's missing on that play is the rope. Again, a little slew foot. He could have taken him down and grabbed the ankles and tied him up. That's a minor penalty. And one of the best at it. You're right. Marchand, unfair? Yeah, that's unfair.
Jackets 0 for 3 with 5 shots. 2 minutes for interference to Marchand. Johansson deals it back here to Ryan Murray. Johansson. Umberger got a stick on it, but deflected it wide. Murray quickly feeds Johansson. Umberger waits at the goal line. Dubinsky's in the slot. Dubinsky takes that pass from Johansson. Steps away from Kelly. Dubinsky back for Johansson. Johansson hangs on. Looks, the no-look pass there for Wisniewski. Off his stick. That of Louis Eriksson. And out of play.
Well, good play there by the Boston Bruins just to get a stick on it. The Jackets trying to set it up, try to go from low to high, and then try to find Wisniewski on that backside. Johansson did a pretty nice job coming off of the wall. And when you're able to do that, you create your own passing lanes as well as the shooting lane. And there's one guy they'd like to be able to spring free tonight, and that's number 10, Gabrick.
Foligno. Wins the draw. There's Gabrick on the ice. Marion Gabrick. Atkinson. Foligno. Murray steps up. Wisniewski saves it at the line. Bouncing puck. Jackets move it back. Boston comes up with it. Walking to center, Seidenberg. Flips ahead. And Campbell sends it the rest of the way. 6.5 minutes left in regulation. 1:05. And the Marchand penalty. Wisniewski out of his own zone. Hits Foligno at the line. Foligno pulls up on that half wall. Sends it off into the corner. Bartkowski with Gabrick right there. Chips ahead over the stick of Wisniewski and back into Columbus territory. 48 seconds remain on the power play. Boston get fresh legs on the kill. Out comes Tooten for the Jackets. Head up. Ryan Murray skates to center. Gabrick on the left. It's Foligno. Across the line. Hit Foligno. Battles along the wall. Pressured there. Gabrick. Chara. Chip to the far side. A Gimli in pursuit. Jack Johnson tosses behind the net. And then on the hard around, it's dumped down the ice by Boychuk. Bobrovsky out of the net keeps it away from McGinley. 5:42 left in the period. Less than 20 seconds of the power play. Dubinsky on to Johansson across the line. Umberger darts to the net. Here's Jack Johnson. Johnson, Dubinsky. Dubinsky, Tooten off the point. Looked short side and sent it wide. Jack Johnson unable to keep it in. Down to 2 seconds. Marchand standing in the penalty bench. And now steps out. Here's Jack Johnson at even strength off the shoulder of Chad Johnson. Dubinsky. Drilled in the corner. Much to the delight of the crowd here. Boychuk with a hit along the wall. Marchand flips to center. Marchand attempting to play it. Umberger tips ahead. Dubinsky on for 2. Less than 5 minutes left. 31-28. Jackets who have poured it on here in the third period. Now leading on the shot clock. Better Tooten off the wall. On here to Como. Jackets, Letestu, McKenzie, and Como. They have been effective each and every shift here tonight. McKenzie below that goal line trying to walk out. Louis Eriksson keeps it away from Como. Nice move. McKenzie to the point. Savard winds up with a shot and a stick save by Johnson. Jackets sweep ahead, keep it in, albeit momentarily, before Seidenberg sends to the offensive blue line. Savard, nice play at the line. Clears to the Boston blue line. Off Krejci. He'll play it. Cruz. Eriksson. Flip to Lucic. Walking in. Lucic, top of the circle. Nikitin defended. Lucic turns, drops it back for the point. Off the bench came Boychuk and tried the one-time. Smith. Savard defends. Knocked down by Savard. Crowd looking for a penalty here. The Jackets have got to be disciplined. With the back-to-back penalties here in the third for Boston, Jackets have got to be aware that next penalty could be called against them, and time is certainly of the essence.
Todd Richards talked this morning about being able to be in a position like this and finish the game properly. Take it into overtime and see how it goes.
Across the line comes Kelly. Kelly brings it around the wall. Savard finishing his check there on Soderberg. Atkinson hustles out. No, he's stopped at the line. Foligno will scoop up that loose puck. Foligno. Nice move to get by Kelly. Hangs on to it. Those two formerly teammates and good friends with the Ottawa Senators. Soderberg drops it back. Atkinson reaching for it there. Johansson cruising in open ice. Dubinsky takes the pass and tied up there by Louis Eriksson. Knocked down. Eriksson, right wing feed looking for Soderberg. Tried to lead Soderberg. That pass too far ahead. Ryan Murray ahead here for Johansson. Johansson across the line. Chara up with that loose puck. Here's cross ice for Hamilton. Dubinsky is there. Less than 3 minutes left. Eriksson late in the shift. He had his pocket picked there by Como. Como sends it off the wall and play call. 2:36 left. A thundering hit here on Dubinsky. He's all right, though.
Oh, what fun it is to ride. Get the Mercedes-Benz on your wish list at the winter event going on now. But hurry, the offer ends soon.
Lease the 2014 GLK 350 for $419 a month at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer.
So you can have a getaway from what you know. So you can be surprised by what you don't. Get 2 times the points on travel and dining at restaurants from Chase Sapphire Preferred. So you can taste something that wakes up your soul. Chase Sapphire Preferred. So you can.
There's something about Skyline that makes people feel good. Let's go see what it is.
I live across the street from one Skyline, so there are certain days when I can just smell them cooking it. It comes through the breeze, and I have to have it at that point. I know it's Skyline time.
You just walk across the street, and it's Skyline time.
Yeah, it's the spot.
It doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, that was part of what sold me on the location.
Feeling good. Must be Skyline time.
Tied at 2. You see the time remaining, and there's a look at the 2 Blue Jacket goal scorers tonight. Our Big Lots big play, you betcha. It's the tying goal late in the second period by Nick Foligno.
And how about 16:34 where Nikitin had a chance to spot it. A little pass up through the neutral zone off the boards. Foligno, he directs it to the net, comes in, follows up his own rebound. The backhand, it finds the back of the net, makes it a 2-2 game, and that's where we stand.
Face off to Bobrovsky's right. Krejci wins the draw. Lucic had it poke checked away. Johansson trying to fight off the check there. And covering up Chad Johnson, and he will hold on. Seiderberg all over Johansson.
I like the work of Johansson. I tell you, he kept the legs going, utilized that size. That's what you'd like to be able to see. Look at Feder Tutin. Como, what a game he has had. The last 3 or 4 games, keeping the legs going. Tonight, scores his second goal of the year, 12:48 appearing one.
Here's Tutin. Shovels a backhand ahead for Como. On to McKenzie, cycling out of the corner. Letestu waits patiently, but the Bruins have cleared the zone. Jackets battle along the wall. Como comes up with it. Sweeps it back into his own zone, and it's on to Jack Johnson. 2:10 left. Tutin off the boards and off Como, icing the goal.
Well, they're saying that the Jackets did not control that puck off of Como's stick. It bounced over the stick, and that was a new rule change coming into this year. There has to be some form of ability to touch that puck, show a little control, and then get it deep.
Krejci will take this face-off. McKenzie for the Jackets to the left of Bobrovsky. A little more than 2 minutes left. Jackets have got to hold off this Boston top line. Johnson away from McGinley. Jack Johnson dishes to the right wing for Como. Sent to the Boston line. Up with it, Letestu. And he'll bank it off the wall, sending it deep into the Bruins' end. Less than 2 minutes left. Barkowski across the line. Krejci ahead on the right wing and offside the call.
What Barkowski can do, can get those legs going. Chatting with Todd Richards this morning, we talked about finishing games. You know, for the last 3 games, Jackets have given up goals in the last 2 minutes of a given period, and that's something as a coach, it just basically turns you gray or bald. And that's something right now the Jackets have in mind, but they want to be aggressive, but also disciplined.
Dribbled into the zone. Murray, Dubinsky. Battle along the boards, and the puck comes free. Wisniewski takes it from Murray. Jackets have cleared the zone. Kelly tied up. Atkinson on the play. Hamilton. Head up, wants it to the line. Eddie Hamilton. Long shot. Bobrovsky steers to the far board. Soderberg slips and falls. Wisniewski on top of him. Soderberg gets it to Chara. Whoa. Bobrovsky had to come out, cut off that angle and make the stop. Bouncing puck got ahead. Atkinson back into Boston territory. Little more than a minute left.
1 minute remaining in the period.
Seidenberg gets it ahead. Bobrovsky's out of the net. Chips it off the glass. Chaput, Gabrick, and Foligno out on this final minute. You have Tootin and Murray. In the slot, Marchand, and he was hammered in open ice. Crowd looking for a penalty, went off the skate of Foligno as he attempted to walk into Boston territory. Meantime, Louis Eriksson walking to the net. Tootin able to sweep it. Here's Krug. Watch out, Krug. Hangs on and now fires the biscuit. It's deflected off a stick and wide. Bergeron upended. Jack Johnson, final 20 seconds. Gabrick will just sweep in and then race off to the bench. Krug dancing away from Letestu. Deals to Iginla. Across the line. McKenzie defends. Iginla centering pass. Jackets are there to cut it out. And it's Letestu who sends it into Boston territory, and that will do it. For the second consecutive game, the Jackets are going to overtime. And moments ago, a big stop by Bobrovsky.
I'll tell you what, he does a good job. But look at that second effort from the ground. And the last guy you want to see get the puck is Chara. What a save.
Soderberg able to sweep that puck back to Chara.
We got a taste of what this arena can be like. Players started to trust one another. Trust that your teammate was going to do his job so you could do your job. Once you have that trust, players go out and play as a group of 5. And now we have to come out and do it again.
Get CBJ Student Rush tickets starting at just $15. All tickets include a free offer from Papa John's.
We are headed to overtime, but before we do, let's take a look at all 4 goals scored here tonight.
Now let's go back to period number 1. How about Blake Como? But it's the work of McKenzie getting it deep. Letestu, a little backhand pass, finds Como all alone. It's a 1-0 game. And then the shot deflected off of Louis Eriksson's skate. That was an 18-10 period number 1. Tied at 1 going into period number 2. And it's the Boston Bruins. Again, nice job right here by Gregory Campbell. Pulling in east to west. Shot taken. Deflected off the stick of Jack Johnson. Made it 2-1. And then an indirect pass. And you can see Foligno's shot. And then picking up the rebound. Nose to the net. Makes it a 2-2 game.
So the Jackets 1-1 in overtime. A similar record to that of the Boston Bruins. 1 up, 1 down. 4-on-4 hockey. Jackets, I thought, had the better of the play, Bill, in period number 3.
No, they did. They were disciplined throughout their course. They were stopping, they were starting, and give kudos to that line of Letestu, Como, as well as Derek McKenzie. They battled, they set precedent all night long.
12-7, Blue Jackets outshoot the Bruins in period number 3. A 32-30 edge as we begin overtime. Jack Johnson Paired with Tutin. Right wing feed for Dubinsky. Hustles into the zone. Gets behind the defense. And the big guy, Chara, but sent it wide.
Beautiful setting.
Now Chara comes back. Chips it deep in the Jackets territory. Tutin and Tutin collide. Loose puck picked up there by Krejci. Chara moves in off the point. Dougie Hamilton looks for Chara alertly. The puck steered to the corner there by Tutin. Lucic looking to walk out. Sent up high. Chara floats one in. That's sent wide. Lucic off the wall. Krejci. Hamilton off the point. Chara settles it down. Looks. Cross ice for Dougie Hamilton. Jacket with the active stick, but can't clear. Bruins control. Backhanded. Far side of the ice. Better Tutin. Tutin for Jack Johnson. Less than 4 minutes left. Jackets change things up. Marchand on the forecheck. Johnson under control. Gets it to R.J. Umberger. Steers it by Seidenberg. Umberger in deep. Krug defending. Ryan Murray stepping up. Here's Foligno. Wrist shot. It's deflected wide. Marchand plays it off that backboard. 3:35 left in overtime. Torrey Krug. For Seidenberg. Intercepted here by Umberger. Into the slot. Hanging on Foligno and a glove stop by Chad Johnson. Umberger able to pick off that pass and feed it to Foligno. How fitting would that be? The game winner.
Well, a good effort. Again, Umberger was able to get that puck deep, but watch the play right here, and then watch Foligno. He feels he's got pressure, and right away, as soon as he got it, he ends up that spinorama. He wastes no time. Right from there to the backhand, Chad Johnson comes up and makes a beautiful save.
Speaking of fitting, Marian Gaborik out there, along with Johansson. The Jackets would like to get Gaborik going. Right now, it'd be an opportunistic time for him and the Blue Jackets. Bartkowski camped behind Chad Johnson. Johansson and Gaborik defending. Far side, Boychuk off a skate and wide. Ryan Johansson finds Gaborik along the wall. Gaborik protects that puck, flips it back to Nikita. Far side for David Savard. Savard, let pass. Johansson down the right wing to center. He's got Gaborik waiting at the offensive blue line. Hands it to Gaborik, back to Johansson. Gaborik moving into position in front. There's a shot, goes off Gaborik and wide, and this one goes off the netting. And out of play. 2:44 left.
This time of game, you want your stars to be stars. And again, Gaborik comes onto the ice trying to make something happen. How about the play, too? David Savard. That's what you want. Young guy coming in, crowd out of the lineup. He had a solid game. Physically, involved offensively, come off the defensive core one time, and Johnson made a big save.
Dubinsky, Letestu up front, Wisniewski, and Ryan Murray are on the points. James Wisniewski feeds ahead for Dubinsky. Chara comes up with that loose puck. Soderberg back for Chara, the Boston captain. First across the line. He's got Louis Eriksson with him. Hangs onto that puck. Moves ahead. Hamilton in off the point. Hamilton. Soderberg. Flip to the point. Nobody there. Chara has to come back to his own blue line. Jackets change up. And icing the call against Boston. Now, little wires crossed there for the Bruins. Nobody left back at the point. Dougie Hamilton had pinched in. Bruins unable to change as a result of the icing call.
Bill June talking about his team. He was happy the last few games and what he had a chance to see. Be interested to see his comments tonight, but he knew what he was getting into. And the Jackets come into Boston. The Jackets really have upheld their end of the bargain, playing hard, and tonight they deserve more.
Jack Johnson flips it back. Here's Tutin looking for some open ice. Soderberg chasing. Tutin. Jack Johnson waiting at the point. Foligno wants the puck. Jack Johnson rebound left for Umberger. But Chara with the quick play. Bruins will change up. Better Tutin. Louis Eriksson. Deep on the forecheck. Races off to the bench. 1:37 remaining here in overtime. Jack Johnson threw it across the line off his skate. Puck picked up by Umberger and deflected off Krejci's stick. We'll get a face-off in Boston territory to the left of Chad Johnson.
Well, there's a look at R.J. Umberger tonight. Just played a little over 17 minutes. Still looking for his first shot on goal. But a couple of situations here in period number 3 he's created because of his speed. Right now in a 2-2 game. We talk about production from the core. He's one of those guys that you need more from.
Less than 90 seconds left. Underwood and Anisimov have been moved down in the lineup. Well, Todd Richards has seen other players excel and moved them up, including Nick Foligno, who started on the fourth line. But right now here, less than 2 minutes left. In overtime, 4-on-4, Savard carries into the zone. Savard drops it back. Atkinson waits up high. Less than a minute to go. Savard on to Atkinson. Atkinson. Shot blocked by Lucic. He has a breakaway. Milan Lucic walks in and scores. Bruins win in overtime.
Well, you take a look. Again, the Jackets have full control in that offensive zone. And Cam Atkinson trying to feather it through. But you've got a body like Lucic. They come out, they block that shot, and then it's the finish. And you can see Lucic go 5-hole on Bobrovsky. That stick is up. He's got nothing but net. That is the game-winning goal.
Lucic with his team-leading 8th goal of the season. It is the game winner. And the Jackets, who dominate the third, lose in overtime.
When you compare a